The following podcast is a production of the network. Check us out on bicbp-radio.com.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Shot Takes with yours truly. I got to move here. Easy D, Derek Jaws. You can also see it up there on the scroller going above my head right now. This is Shot Takes, a subsidiary of the Hats, Tats, and Stats podcast brought to you by Stinger Sports. And if you watched last week, I've updated some things. First off, I've updated my face. The mutton chops are gone. Thank God. And just kind of, I'm doing something a little different here on my desktop computer instead of my Mac laptop. And I'm going to see if this works a little easier. So, first and foremost, I apologize. I have to keep it a little bit quieter today. Our house is rather echoey, and there's a job interview going on downstairs. So, that being said, some big things going on this week in the NFL and in the sports world. Going to focus a little bit on the NFL here. The big one is you're going to have to forgive the WWE kiddies back there. They get a little rambunctious and like to fight. So just kind of ignore them, or I'll try to keep my head in the way. First and foremost, as you can see, decked out in my Bills stuff, because the Bills are the AFC East champions, the beast of the East, for the first time since 1995. I was like 7 when that happened. So rightly, I don't remember much of it because I was young, I was a little guy, a lot littler than I am now. And, that's big news for us here in Buffalo, but I'm not here to talk about Buffalo, but I am here to put our logo in your face because it's my show. And two big things this week. So last week I talked about my hot take, my bold claim of the Jets upsetting the Seahawks, which could not have been further from the truth. However, apparently my gut feeling was right. It was just a week off, because the Jets beat a very, very good Rams team. And in beating this very good Rams team, may have just cost themselves the best quarterback in the draft this coming year, because if there's a way to do the Jets, that's the way to do the Jets if you're the Jets. I've never, we used to talk about, here in Buffalo, the same old Bills. Showed a lot of promise and then pittered it away by the end of the season. This is just the same old Jets. Have a shot for something great and find a way to screw it up. However, it could be a blessing in disguise, because if you get somebody in there who's willing to work with Sam Darnold, who at times looks really good and at other times looks like he doesn't have a team around him, and you can kind of build around him and give him things to work with, and maybe he realizes that he's got some work to do. Maybe this is a blessing in disguise. Instead of ruining another quarterback, you can use the talented player you already have. But big W there for the Jets, and just the Jets being the Jets and costing themselves the first overall pick. Obviously, barring something stupid like a Jaguars win in the next 2 weeks. So the other one was last night, and I can't help but notice, and again, this is made for exclusively on the Sports Hosts app. And if there are any Steelers fans who get a glimpse of this, who catch this, I am curious to know where y'all been, because for 11 weeks, it was hot and heavy. It was loud. There was a lot of talk. And when people started saying you haven't played anybody and you're lucky to have gotten that far, you beat the Ravens third string, you beat the Cowboys by less than 4 points, you beat a lot of teams by one score with a lot of help from the refs, and the teams that you're beating in tight games and barely squeaking them out, you're not doing it against good teams. And then you played a good, stout defense in the football team, the Washington football team, the team with no name, and you got beat. And then you played the AFC East champions, the Bills, and that game was not nearly as close as the score suggests, and it was still a 2-score game. The only time you looked even remotely relevant offensively was when we gave you a start inside the 20, and late in the game when we were sitting back letting you play the dink and dunk game. Outside of that, you didn't do anything. And now you come out against the Bungles. The Bungles, who have been bungling all year. You tell me, beginning of the year, you tell me that the Steelers lose this game. I'm like, wow, Joe Burrow must have balled out. Nope. I believe you're facing a third-string quarterback. And you found a way to drop that one. Maybe, just maybe, somebody should tell Juju to stop dancing on people's logos at midfield, because low-key tends to piss people off. So if it's one of the things that I love, and this is going to roll me into my shot take of the week. It's going to be the idea out there that culture matters. A lot of people for a long time were talking about how all McDermott does is talk about process and clap. And now you turn around and you look, and the man's going to his third playoff appearance in 4 years, something that was unheard of for 20 years. One playoff appearance for 20 years. And yes, you could make the argument the first time he did it, it took a great play by Andy Dalton to Tyler Boyd and a missed tackle by the Ravens for that to happen. But we had to do enough that year to be in that position. And then the next year was the step back that, if you were paying attention, you knew we were going to take. And now the last 2 years, it's gotten better and better. And all the man has talked about is culture. All the man has talked about is, not just getting guys, but getting the right guys and making sure you're in a good spot. And I'm not taking anything away from Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is a fantastic coach. Fantastic coach. The fact that you lost one of the best receivers in the game and one of the best running backs in the game in short succession and still found a way to stay 500. With a third string quarterback, mind you, and found a way to stay at 500 is a testament to your ability as a coach. However, at some point, you got to look at a dude like Juju Smith-Schuster and be like, bro, if you dance on another team's midfield logo, I'm going to bench you. Because you can't keep doing things like that are going to give teams who are already motivated to beat you a reason to want to beat you. Like, what are you doing? Why is this a thing that you have deemed to be okay? But it's a culture thing. I understand letting players be themselves, but at the same time, you look at guys who have had great success over the years. If at the start of the year you'd have told me that Sean Payton was going to bench Michael Thomas for a chunk of the season because of attitude and things detrimental to the team, everybody on the planet would be like, "You're out of your mind. No way." And then he did it. So now you look at the things that the guy like Bill Belichick does, videotaping and cheating aside. Look, I mean, we can go way back. All pro players, potential Hall of Famers like Ty Law, who was a great defensive back, looked at Ty Law and said, "Well, guess what, buddy? You don't want to keep your shit in check. You don't want to keep your need for money in check. Okay, you can go play for other teams. You'll still be an all pro, but we're going to win rings." He did the same thing to Malloy when the Bills decided to cut or trade Marcel Darius, one of the highest paid defensive linemen in the game, and was highly touted and has been irrelevant ever since. But he was a guy who went, got paid, and stopped producing. And he had some trouble with the law, so on and so forth. And here we are with a coach who can't get his top wide receiver to stop dancing on the logo of midfield of other teams. At some point, it's a shot take to say that stuff doesn't matter. Because I don't know if you watched that Bengals defense last night, but they played motivated. And if you don't think watching a dude, The Cowboys tried fighting T.O. when he celebrated on the star. I mean, stuff like that. That's a shot. That's taking a shot. That's not a shot take. That's taking a shot at another team. And you're not 0-3 in your last 3 games. And you're probably, here's a hot take for you. It's not really hot. It's a lukewarm. It's probably about as warm as this cup of coffee that's sitting next to me that I have been nursing all morning. The Steelers are going to get buried by the Colts. Buried. There's a good chance that you could see the Steelers slide down into a wild card spot from being 11-0. Arguably the de facto number 1 seed. And you could see them slide down into a wild card spot if they lose this, when they lose this week to the Colts, and then if they drop week 17 to the hungry and playing very well Browns, you 100% could see those 2 teams switch, where all of a sudden the Browns are a division champion. And imagine a world where the Browns and the Bills are division champions at the same time. What's that world like? I don't know. We might find out by week 17 because the Steelers are on a hard downswing because they had this shot take that they were a lot better than they were, and as it turns out, it's coming back to bite them in the ass. So, hope you guys enjoyed episode 2 of Shot Takes. Thanks for tuning in. As always, we are part of the BICBP-radio.com network. Check out our full podcast, Hats, Tats, and Stats, on there on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you take your podcast. Also, head over to the website, check out the awesome and eclectic grouping of podcasts that we have over there, including 2 of my other ones. If you're a prep baseball guy or just a baseball guy in general, or you like hearing cool sports stories, head over and check out Tip of the Cap podcast, hosted by yours truly, where I have a different guest every time an episode pops out. We talk about different things around the baseball community, and then head over and check out Common Debauchery, which is just a fun podcast about the weird, wild times of 2020. So check those out. Check out the rest of the podcasts over there on the network. If you're looking for sports equipment or specifically baseball equipment or sports uniforms of any sport, including football, baseball, hockey, basketball, volleyball, lacrosse, etc., head over to stingersports.com. It's www.stingerwoodbats.com and check out their custom stuff. And if you're looking for something, want to use them for something, contact me, yours truly. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter. Look up Hats, Tats, and Stats. You can find me through all of them. I run all of that social media. Reach out and let me know. I can get you set up and hooked up. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This has been Shot Takes, and there's the noon bell. I am out of here.